dedicated your life to public service, and one day, without warning, you're told you no longer have a job, and not because of mistakes or poor performance, but a new government decide to let you go. This is the true story of Mr. Ike Sallah, and his fight against the government became one of the most important legal battles in Ghana's history. This is Sallah versus the Attorney General. The year is 1969. Ghana has just adopted a new constitution, and the country is navigating a new political era. Suddenly, a government directive drops like a bombshell. 568 public officers are dismissed. Among them is Mr. Ike Sallah, an officer of GNTC. The government's justification was a single clause in the new constitution, Section 9, subsection 1. They argued that this clause meant all public service positions appointed under the old regime were now void. Essentially, the government claimed the constitution gave them a clean slate, allowing them to fire hundreds of people at once. But Mr. Sallah refused to be erased. He believed his appointment was a legally binding contract, not a political pawn. He was convinced that no constitutional clause could just vaporize his rights and years of service overnight. So, he did something incredibly brave. He took the government to court. This wasn't just one man fighting for his job anymore. This case quickly escalated into a national drama. It became a question of power. Can the government simply bend the law to its liking? An intense battle for the independence of the judiciary was being fought. The Attorney General, representing the government, argued forcefully that their actions were perfectly legal and within the powers granted by the new constitution. On the other side, Sallah's lawyers insisted that the constitution was designed to protect public servants, not make them disposable. All of Ghana was watching, waiting to see who would win this monumental clash between an individual and the state. The case reached the Supreme Court. The judges gave their verdict. The justices sided with Sallah. Their judgment was clear. First, they ruled that Section 9(1) of the Constitution did not apply to an office like Mr. Sallah's. It was not intended to be a blanket dismissal tool. Second, they confirmed that his appointment did not automatically terminate just because a new constitution was in place. This meant the government had acted without lawful authority when it dismissed him and the 567 others. The court made it crystal clear: public officers retain their rights unless the constitution specifically and explicitly removes them. The government could just interpret a clause to its own advantage to get rid of people it didn't like. This judgment hammered home a principle that is the bedrock of any democracy. Executive power cannot overthrow constitutional protections. A change in government, or even the adoption of a whole new constitution, does not simply extinguish the existing legal rights of citizens. The government is bound by the constitution. It is never above it. But Sallah versus the Attorney General became more than just a legal precedent. It became a pillar of Ghanaian democracy. It served as a powerful check on executive power, reminding every government that came after that they could not act on whims. It strengthened the independence of the judiciary, proving that the courts could and would stand up to political pressure. The case protected the rights of every public servant, ensuring they had job security based on law, not political favor. But more than that, it exposed the natural tension that exists between the organs of government and highlighted the courage required to maintain a balance of power. It affirmed that the rule of law must stand firm, especially during times of political change and uncertainty. The legacy of this case is a reminder that in a true democracy, no one is above the law, and the rights of the individual can triumph over the power of the state. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and hit that like button.